before your
Every
eyes.
time that you blink, you're gonna jump forward in time.
Before your eyes is one of those emotional, unique experiences that hits you hard and fast. The game's main hook is that you control it by blinking, literally using your webcam. Every time you blink, the story jumps forward in time. It's a simple mechanic, but it's incredibly effective, especially given the game's focus on memory and regret. You play as a recently deceased soul looking back on your life. Each blink skips you through important moments from childhood to adulthood, and it's crazy how quickly these moments pass by, just like real life. The story digs deep into themes of family loss and the choices we make, things that are super relatable, which makes the emotional hits land even harder.
It's Chloe, your neighbor.
The gameplay is straightforward, with most of the interaction coming from the blinking mechanic, but that's where the brilliance lies. It forces you to let go, to accept that you can't hold on to moments forever, even the ones you wish would last. It's short, maybe a couple of hours, but in that time it manages to tell a full, heartfelt story that sticks with you long after it's done. No filler, just a tight, emotional narrative wrapped in a truly original gameplay mechanic. If you're looking for something that's more of an emotional experience than a traditional game, Before Your Eyes is a must-play.
Ready to come up here? That's just how this thing works.
Valiant Hearts: The Great War. Valiant Hearts is a beautifully crafted game that tells a personal, emotional story set during World War I. What makes it stand out is how it humanizes the war. You're not playing as a soldier mowing down enemies. Instead, you follow 4 characters and a dog who are just trying to survive and find their loved ones. Each character has their own struggles, and the way their stories intertwine gives the game real emotional weight. The art style is hand-drawn and it's simple yet powerful. It makes the brutal backdrop of World War I feel even more surreal. The gameplay is mostly puzzle solving with a little bit of stealth and exploration thrown in. It's not hard, but that's not the point. The game is more focused on telling a story that makes you feel something.
Not for glory.
The narrative hits hard because it's based on real letters from the war, which adds a layer of authenticity. You get a sense of how ordinary people were affected by the chaos of war, and it doesn't shy away from showing the horrors, even though it's told in a somewhat cartoony style. It's a short game, but the impact it leaves is lasting. Valiant Hearts doesn't glorify war, it shows the human side of it, the loss, the pain, and the small acts of hope that keep people going.
Valiant Hearts.
Life is Strange 2.
We're different, but we can't go back.
The original Life is Strange was great, no doubts, but I see many people ignoring the second part for, well, obvious reasons, but I still think it's a great game. Life is Strange 2 is one of those games that hit me harder than I expected. It's not just another coming-of-age story, it's a road trip filled with heartache, tough choices, and moments that really make you pause and think. You play as Sean Diaz, a teenage kid who's forced to go on the run with his little brother Daniel after a tragic incident changes their lives in an instant. The core of the game is the bond between these two brothers, and man, the way it evolves feels so real. You're not just making decisions for yourself, you're shaping Daniel, who looks up to you and reacts to everything you do.
We'll be fine.
The game throws you into a lot of different environments, from forests to deserts to small towns, and each place has its own vibe. You meet all these different people along the way, and some are genuinely kind while others not so much. It keeps you on edge, not knowing who to trust, and that tension makes the quieter moments between Sean and Daniel hit even harder. By the time I finished, I felt like I'd been through something with these characters. It's emotional, sometimes brutal, but always genuine. If you're into games that make you care about the people in them and force you to face some tough moral questions, Life is Strange 2 delivers in a way that feels deeply personal.
Daniel?
Leave me alone!
Do it, Daniel! Now!
Surge. The Surge is one of those games that came out of nowhere for me, but man, if you're into the Souls-like genre, this one brings something fresh to the table. Set in a dystopian future where corporations are running wild, you play as Warren, a guy who starts out in a wheelchair but soon gets outfitted with this exosuit that turns him into a walking tank. The game takes that Dark Souls formula hard as nails combat, brutal enemies, and a deep sense of exploration, but adds a unique twist with its sci-fi setting and the whole limb targeting system. That's one of the coolest parts about the Surge. Instead of just whacking away at enemies, you can target specific body parts. Want that shiny new arm piece your enemy's wearing? You have to literally cut it off in combat and salvage it. It adds a layer of strategy to the fights, because you're not just trying to survive, you're also constantly thinking about how to upgrade your gear and take advantage of enemy weaknesses. The world of the Surge is grim, and while it's mostly industrial factories and rundown facilities, it fits the tone perfectly. You're exploring this corporate hellscape full of killer robots, rogue security systems, and other exosuit-wearing maniacs. And yeah, it's tough. If you're not paying attention, enemies will wreck you. But the game rewards patience and precision, so when you finally take down a tough boss or get past a tricky area, it feels earned. One thing I'll say is that the Surge can feel a bit repetitive, especially with its environments and some of the enemies, but the combat is what keeps it interesting. If you're into challenging, methodical gameplay with a sci-fi twist, this one is definitely worth checking out. It's not as polished as some other games in the genre, but it's got enough unique ideas to stand on its own. The Council.
Lord Mortimer asked me to join him.
The Council is one of those hidden gems that more people should have picked up. It's like a narrative-driven detective game, but with this cool RPG twist. You play as Louis de Richet, who's invited to a secret island by a mysterious political group in the late 1700s. The game throws you right into a world of conspiracies, historical figures, and crazy mind games.
Please.
What sets the Council apart is how it handles choices and dialogue. It's not just about picking a response and watching things play out. You actually use skills to manipulate people, gather info, and push the story in different directions. Every choice feels weighty, and depending on how you build your character, you'll solve problems in different ways. It's not like most narrative games where you're just along for the ride here. You really shape how things play out.
And secrecy are both pillars of the organizations for which we work.
You know, Louis, I've only just now realized that I've been drawn here.
The Forgotten City. The Forgotten City is one of those underrated gems that really deserves more attention. Originally a Skyrim mod, it evolved into a full game that's all about unraveling a mystery set in an ancient Roman city trapped in a time loop. And the catch? If even one person in the city sins, everyone dies, so no pressure, right? The game's all about talking to people, piecing together clues, and figuring out who's going to break the golden rule. It's less about combat and more about using your brain and paying attention to details. Every time the loop resets, you carry the knowledge forward, which makes every conversation and discovery feel important.
Everyone will die.
What's really cool is how it blends history, philosophy, and morality. You're constantly faced with tough choices, and the game doesn't hold your hand. You need to think through the consequences of your actions. And the setting feels alive, and the way it weaves in ancient Roman culture makes it feel unique compared to most narrative-driven games. The Forgotten City is smart, engaging, and has one of the best use of time loops in gaming. It's the kind of game that sneaks up on you and leaves you thinking about it long after it's over. Definitely a must-play for fans of mystery and choice-driven games.
Salve, friend.
Outer Wilds. Outer Wilds is one of those games that doesn't tell you up front what it's about. You've got to figure that out yourself, and that's exactly what makes it so special. You play as an astronaut exploring a miniature solar system caught in a 22-minute time loop. Yeah, it sounds like a gimmick, but it's not. It's the heart of the game. The brilliance of Outer Wilds is in its sense of discovery. It doesn't hold your hand, doesn't throw objectives at you, it just drops you into this mysterious handcrafted world and lets you explore at your own pace. Every planet, moon, and ancient ruin has a secret, and as you unravel the mysteries of this dying universe, you start to piece together a much larger, more profound story. The game's design rewards curiosity. If you see something interesting in the distance, go there, odds are it's important. There's no combat, no experience points, no boss fights. It's all about exploration and piecing together what happened to this ancient alien race, why the time loop exists, and what your role is in all of it. And that 22-minute loop, it creates this amazing tension. Do you have enough time to reach that distant planet? Can you decode that ancient text before the loop resets? It's a race against time, but without the stress, just the thrill of discovery. In short, Outer Wilds is a game that respects your intelligence, trusts you to figure things out, and offers an unforgettable journey through space and time. It's truly one of a kind and absolutely worth the dive. SOMA. SOMA is a horror game that gets under your skin in ways you don't expect. On the surface, it's a sci-fi survival horror set in an underwater research facility where things have clearly gone very wrong. But what sets SOMA apart from other horror games is its focus on psychological terror rather than jump scares. It's the kind of game that leaves you thinking long after you've finished. You play as Simon, a guy who wakes up in this eerie, submerged facility with no idea how he got there. As you explore, you start to unravel a story that digs into heavy themes like consciousness, identity, and what it really means to be human. The questions it raises are unsettling in a way that sticks with you, especially as the lines between human and machine start to blur. Now, don't expect traditional combat here. SOMA isn't about fighting monsters, it's about surviving them. You'll spend a lot of time sneaking around, hiding, and figuring out how to move forward without getting caught. And trust me, the atmosphere is thick. The underwater setting, combined with the oppressive sound design, makes everything feel claustrophobic and tense. It's not just a horror game, it's a smart, emotional experience that challenges your mind while keeping you on edge the whole time. If you're into atmospheric, story-driven games that mess with your head, SOMA is absolutely worth your time. Kingdom Come Deliverance. Kingdom Come Deliverance doesn't care if you're ready for it. It throws you into medieval Bohemia and expects you to survive in a world that's as unforgiving as it is detailed. You're not some chosen one or a noble warrior. You're Henry, a blacksmith's son with no combat skills, no reputation, and no fancy armor. What sets this game apart is that it's brutally realistic. No magic, no mythical creatures, just cold, hard history. The combat is rough but rewarding. You can't just hack and slash, it's about precision, timing, and stamina. You'll need to learn how to read your opponents, block effectively, and manage your strikes. And yeah, you're gonna get your ass kicked at first, but once it clicks, there's nothing like walking away from a hard-fought duel that felt earned. Exploration feels like stepping into a living, breathing medieval world. Villages, castles, and forests aren't just backdrops, they're fully realized environments with people going about their daily lives. The quests don't hold your hand either. You want to sneak into a camp, bribe a guard, or just talk your way out of trouble. Go for it, but nothing comes easy. This isn't your typical RPG. It's rough around the edges, sure, but that's what makes it work. Kingdom Come Deliverance is about struggle, growth, and surviving in a world that doesn't care about you. If you want a game that makes you fight for every victory, this one's worth every bit of your time. Lost in Random. Lost in Random is one of those games that feels like a dark fairy tale come to life. Imagine if Tim Burton teamed up with a game studio and you'll get a sense of its vibe. You play as Even, a girl in a twisted world where every decision is left up to the roll of a dice. The story kicks off when her sister, Odd, is taken away by the evil queen and Even sets out to save her, guided by a literal sentient dice companion named Dicey. The game is quirky, but in a way that's completely engaging. The combat is a mix of real-time action and deck building. You roll dicey in battle, and based on the result, you get different abilities from your card deck ranging from summoning weapons to slowing down time. It's unpredictable, but that's the point. You never know exactly what you'll have to work with, and that keeps the fights fresh. Visually, Lost in Random is stunning in a weird, almost unsettling way. The world is divided into 6 realms, each inspired by a different side of a dice, and they all have this eerie stop-motion animation feel. The art direction alone is enough to make you want to keep exploring just to see what strange and wonderful things you'll come across next. The charm of the game lies in its oddball characters and the unpredictable nature of everything. It's got this whimsical, gothic tone that makes every corner of the world feel like it's hiding something strange and wonderful. If you're into unique worlds and inventive gameplay, Lost in Random is a hidden gem that's definitely worth your time. Return of the Obra Dinn. Return of the Obra Dinn is a game that's unlike anything else out there. You're an insurance investigator, but don't let that fool you. This is no ordinary desk job. The ship Obra Dinn mysteriously reappears after going missing, and it's your job to figure out what happened to the crew. Armed with a magical pocket watch that lets you see the moment of each crew member's death, you're essentially solving a giant murder mystery. What makes the game so engaging is that it throws you into this complex web of relationships, secrets, and brutal deaths, but doesn't spoon feed you anything. It's all up to you to piece together the fates of everyone on board, and it's incredibly satisfying when the clues start clicking together. You'll be flipping through the ship's manifest, comparing uniforms, accents, and tiny details that eventually reveal the whole story. The visual style is something you've probably never seen before. Everything's rendered in this old school, one-bit monochrome look, like a playable piece of classic art. It might seem simple, but it gives the game this haunting, timeless atmosphere that pulls you deeper into the mystery. But it's the storytelling that really sticks with you. Every life and death on the Obra Dinn feels personal, and by the end, you're not just checking off names, you're invested in these characters, even though you only see them in their final moments. It's a puzzle game that rewards patience and attention to detail, but it also tells a story that lingers long after you close the book on the final chapter. If you're into detective stories or just love a game that respects your intelligence, Return of the Obra Dinn is absolutely worth it. It's the kind of experience that stays with you, and there's nothing quite like it.
Let me help you.
Chants of Sennar. Hey there, have you ever heard of Chants of Sennar? It's one of those hidden gems that flies under the radar, but it's totally worth your time. In Chants of Sennar, you step into the shoes of a character exploring this mysterious tower. The whole place is a beautiful mix of different cultures and languages. Your mission is to understand and connect these cultures by solving puzzles and decoding their languages. It's like playing detective in a stunning, hand-drawn world. What really grabbed me about this game is its art style. Each level is packed with vibrant colors and intricate details. The environments are so beautifully crafted that you'll want to spend time just soaking it all in. Now, let's talk puzzles. They're challenging but incredibly fun. You need to pay close attention to symbols and sounds to figure out what different words mean. It's such a cool and unique way to interact with the game. Every time you decode a new word, it feels like a little victory. But Chants of Sennar isn't just about solving puzzles. There's this deeper, heartwarming story about bringing people together. As you explore and learn more, you start to feel connected to the characters and cultures you're discovering. It's really fulfilling and adds a lot of depth to the game. If you love games that make you think and explore, you really need to check out Chants of Sennar. It's a beautiful and mysterious adventure that you might not have heard of, but will definitely enjoy. Give it a try and see how well you can connect the dots in this unique world. Bomb Rush Cyberfunk. Next up is Bomb Rush Cyberfunk, a game that combines vibrant visuals with fast-paced action in a futuristic urban setting. If you love games that are all about style and movement, this is one you don't want to miss. In Bomb Rush Cyberfunk, you play as a member of a graffiti crew trying to take over the city by tagging its most iconic spots. The game's world is a sprawling urban playground filled with skyscrapers, alleys, and subway tunnels. It's all about expressing yourself through graffiti while outmaneuvering the authorities and rival crews. The gameplay is a thrilling mix of parkour, skating, and graffiti. You can grind on rails, leap across rooftops, and perform stylish tricks to navigate the city. It's all about maintaining your flow and stringing together moves to keep up your momentum. The graffiti mechanics are also super fun. You can create your own tags and leave your mark all over the city. What makes Bomb Rush Cyberfunk stand out is its incredible style. The game is heavily inspired by the Jet Set Radio series, with a similar colorful CL-shaded art style and an energetic soundtrack. The music, composed by some top-notch artists, keeps the adrenaline pumping and perfectly matches the game's fast-paced action. The characters are just as stylish as the game's visuals. Each member of your crew has a unique look and personality, and as you progress, you'll unlock new abilities and gear that let you explore the city in new ways. The story is light but engaging, focusing on your crew's rise to the top of the graffiti world. Exploring the city is a blast because there's always something new to find. Hidden shortcuts, secret spots for tagging, and various collectibles are scattered throughout the map, encouraging you to explore every nook and cranny. The sense of freedom and movement is incredibly satisfying. If you're into games that blend stylish visuals, high energy music, and fluid, fast-paced gameplay, Bomb Rush Cyberfunk is a must-play. It's a game that keeps you hooked with its dynamic action and vibrant world. Viewfinder. Let's talk about Viewfinder, a unique and mind-bending puzzle game that challenges your perception and creativity. This game is a hidden gem that you probably haven't heard of, but is definitely worth checking out. In Viewfinder, you play as a character exploring surreal environments filled with puzzles that defy the laws of physics. The game's main mechanic revolves around using a special camera to take photos, which you can then place into the world to manipulate the environment. This means you can create new paths, move obstacles, and solve puzzles in ways you've never seen before. The story is simple but intriguing. You're trying to uncover the secrets of this strange world, and each puzzle you solve brings you closer to understanding what's really going on. The narrative is woven into the puzzles themselves, making the gameplay feel meaningful and rewarding. What makes Viewfinder stand out is its innovative gameplay. The ability to reshape the world with photographs is both challenging and fun. You need to think outside the box and use your imagination to figure out how to progress. Each level introduces new twists and mechanics, keeping the puzzles fresh and engaging. Visually, the game is a treat. The environments are beautifully designed with a mix of realistic and fantastical elements. The art style is clean and colorful, making it easy to focus on the puzzles while enjoying the scenery. The sound design and music also add to the atmosphere, creating a relaxing yet thought-provoking experience. The game encourages exploration and experimentation. There's no one right way to solve a puzzle, so you can play around with different ideas and solutions. This freedom makes the game feel more like a creative playground than a traditional puzzle game. If you love games that challenge your mind and offer something truly unique, Viewfinder is a must-play. It's a beautifully crafted puzzle game that keeps you thinking and exploring from start to finish.
It's falling apart. What are we doing?
This can't be the end of everything we
Trepang 2. Next on our list is Trepang 2, a game that mixes intense first-person shooting with superhuman abilities, creating a high-octane experience that you probably haven't heard of but should definitely check out. In Trepang 2, you play as a super soldier who escapes from a high-security facility. With no memory of your past, you're on a mission to uncover the truth about your origins while taking down enemies with brutal efficiency. The story unfolds through a series of missions that are packed with action and mystery. The gameplay is where Trepang 2 really shines. It's fast-paced and thrilling, with smooth gunplay that makes every firefight feel intense. What sets it apart is your character's superhuman abilities. You can slow down time, cloak yourself to become invisible, and perform powerful melee attacks. These abilities add a strategic layer to the combat, allowing you to approach each encounter in different ways. Visually, the game looks great. The environments are detailed and varied, from sterile labs and industrial complexes to outdoor battlegrounds. The graphics and special effects, especially when using your abilities, make the action look and feel explosive. Trepang 2 also offers a lot of variety in its missions. You'll face different types of enemies, each requiring different tactics to defeat. The levels are designed to encourage exploration and experimentation, giving you the freedom to tackle challenges your way. One of the best things about Trepang 2 is its replayability. The combination of diverse abilities and challenging enemies makes it fun to go back and try different strategies. The game's pacing keeps you constantly engaged with new twists and intense action sequences around every corner. If you're a fan of high-energy shooters and love the idea of combining superhuman powers with intense combat, Trepang 2 is a game you won't regret playing. It's an adrenaline-fueled ride that keeps you on the edge of your seat from start to finish. or Visage. Next up on our list is Visage, a psychological horror game that you probably haven't heard of, but absolutely need to experience if you're into spine-chilling stories and eerie atmospheres. In Visage, you explore a creepy, ever-changing house filled with dark secrets and haunting memories. You play as Dwayne, a man trapped in this nightmarish environment, trying to uncover the truth about the house and its previous inhabitants. The story is fragmented and mysterious, revealed through unsettling clues and terrifying encounters. The game's atmosphere is one of its strongest points. Visage is designed to make you feel constantly on edge. The house is dimly lit and full of strange noises, creating an oppressive sense of dread. Every corner you turn, every door you open could reveal something horrifying. The game uses its sound design brilliantly to build tension with whispers, footsteps, and sudden, startling noises. Visage is all about exploration and piecing together the story. The house is full of objects and photographs that give you glimpses into the lives of the people who live there. As you investigate, you'll encounter supernatural events and ghostly apparitions that make the experience genuinely terrifying. The game doesn't rely on cheap jump scares, but instead creates a deep, lingering fear that stays with you. Gameplay involves solving puzzles and managing your sanity. The more time you spend in the dark or witness supernatural events, the more your sanity decreases. This can lead to hallucinations and make the game even more challenging. You need to find light sources and avoid staying in dark areas for too long to keep your sanity in check. Visually, Visage is incredibly detailed. The house feels like a real place, with every room meticulously designed to enhance the horror experience. The realistic graphics make the scares even more effective, immersing you completely in the terrifying world. If you're a fan of psychological horror and enjoy games that build tension through atmosphere and storytelling, Visage is a must-play. It's one of those games that gets under your skin and stays with you long after you've put the controller down. Journey. Next on our list is Journey, a beautifully crafted game that offers a serene and unforgettable experience. If you're looking for something different, this is a game you need to try. In Journey, you play as a robed figure traveling through a vast desert towards a distant, glowing mountain. The story is told without words, relying on visuals and music to convey emotions and guide you on your path. It's a simple yet profound tale about exploration, discovery, and connection. What makes Journey so special is its stunning art and sound design. The game's visuals are breathtaking, with flowing sand dunes, ancient ruins, and mystical landscapes that are a joy to explore. The animation of your character gliding through the sand is incredibly smooth, creating a sense of freedom and peace. The soundtrack is equally amazing. The music dynamically changes to match the events in the game, enhancing the emotional impact of your journey. The combination of visuals and music creates an atmosphere that's both tranquil and inspiring. One of the most unique aspects of Journey is its multiplayer feature. As you travel, you may encounter other players on the same journey. You can't speak to each other, but you can communicate through simple musical chimes. These encounters are fleeting and random, but they add a sense of connection and shared experience. It's a reminder that even in solitary journeys, we're never truly alone. The gameplay is straightforward but deeply engaging. You solve light puzzles and explore the environment, collecting glowing symbols that enhance your ability to jump and glide. The controls are intuitive, allowing you to focus on the experience rather than complex mechanics. Journey is a short game, typically taking about 2 to 3 hours to complete, but it's an experience that stays with you. It's perfect for a single sitting, letting you fully immerse yourself in its world. If you're looking for a game that offers beauty, peace, and a sense of wonder, Journey is a must-play. It's a unique and moving experience that showcases the power of games to tell stories and evoke emotions without a single word. The Medium. Next on our list is The Medium, a psychological horror game that stands out with its unique dual reality gameplay. If you love spooky, story-driven games, this one is definitely for you. In The Medium, you play as Marianne, a woman with the ability to travel between the real world and the spirit world. The story begins with Marianne receiving a mysterious phone call. that leads her to an abandoned hotel. Here, she must use her powers to uncover the dark secrets of the past and solve the mysteries surrounding the place. One of the coolest things about the medium is its dual reality mechanic. You often see and interact with both the real world and the spirit world simultaneously. The game splits the screen, showing both realities at the same time. This unique feature allows you to solve puzzles and navigate areas in ways you wouldn't expect, using your abilities to influence both worlds. The atmosphere in the medium is incredibly immersive. The game's environments are detailed and eerie, with a haunting soundtrack that keeps you on edge. The spirit world is especially creepy, filled with unsettling visuals and ghostly entities that add to the tension. The story is gripping and filled with twists and turns. As you explore the hotel and delve into the spirit world, you uncover the tragic past of its inhabitants and the sinister forces at play. The narrative is deeply engaging, blending horror with emotional depth and keeping you invested in Marianne's journey. The medium doesn't rely on cheap jump scares. Instead, it builds a sense of dread and unease through its storytelling and atmosphere. The dual reality gameplay adds a layer of complexity and intrigue, making you feel like you're piecing together a dark, supernatural puzzle. If you're a fan of horror games with a strong story and innovative gameplay, the medium is a must-play. It's a chilling and unique experience that will keep you hooked from start to finish. Pentiment. Next on our list is Pentiment, a game that dives deep into historical mystery and narrative-driven adventure. If you enjoy games with rich stories and unique art styles, Pentiment is one you should definitely check out. In Pentiment, you step into the shoes of Andreas Möller, an artist working in a Bavarian abbey during the 16th century. The game's story unfolds as Andreas becomes entangled in a series of mysterious events and murders that shake the abbey and its surrounding village. Your task is to investigate these events, uncover secrets, and make choices that will impact the course of the story. What sets Pentiment apart is its stunning art style. The game looks like a living manuscript, with visuals inspired by illuminated manuscripts and early printed books. This unique art direction creates a visually captivating experience that immerses you in the historical setting. The narrative in Pentiment is deeply engaging. The game is filled with complex characters, each with their own motivations and secrets. As Andreas, you interact with monks, villagers, and nobles, piecing together clues and making critical decisions. The dialogue is well written, and your choices can lead to different outcomes, ensuring that each playthrough can be unique. Gameplay in Pentiment is focused on exploration and investigation. You'll explore beautifully rendered environments, talk to various characters, and gather evidence to solve the mysteries. The game encourages careful observation and thoughtful decision-making, making you feel like a detective in a historical drama. Pentiment also stands out for its attention to historical detail. The game incorporates real historical events and figures, blending them seamlessly with its fictional narrative. This adds depth to the story and makes the world feel authentic and lived in. If you're a fan of narrative-driven games and historical settings, Pentiment is a must-play. Its combination of beautiful art, intriguing story, and engaging gameplay makes it a standout title. The Vanishing of Ethan Carter. Next up is The Vanishing of Ethan Carter, a game that combines stunning visuals with a gripping, mysterious story. If you enjoy immersive, narrative-driven experiences, this one should be on your radar. In The Vanishing of Ethan Carter, you play as Paul Prospero, a detective with a knack for the supernatural. You're drawn to the remote town of Red Creek Valley after receiving a distressing letter from a young boy named Ethan Carter. As you explore the beautifully rendered environment, you uncover the dark secrets surrounding Ethan's disappearance and the eerie events that have taken place. The game is a visual masterpiece. The world of Red Creek Valley is meticulously crafted, with lush forests, serene lakes, and abandoned structures that create a hauntingly beautiful atmosphere. The graphics are incredibly detailed, making every location feel real and immersive. The narrative is the heart of the game. It's a non-linear story that you piece together by exploring the environment and solving puzzles. The game doesn't hold your hand, encouraging you to explore at your own pace and uncover the story in your own way. This sense of discovery is one of the most engaging aspects of the game. As you investigate, you'll encounter supernatural occurrences and solve various puzzles. These puzzles are integrated into the story and require you to use your observational skills and think critically. They range from finding hidden objects to piecing together sequences of events, all of which help you understand what happened to Ethan and his family. The atmosphere is enhanced by a haunting soundtrack and excellent sound design. The music and ambient sounds draw you into the world and add to the sense of mystery and tension. The voice acting is also superb, bringing the characters to life and making the story more compelling. The Vanishing of Ethan Carter is a relatively short game, but it's packed with a rich, emotional story and memorable moments. It's the kind of game that stays with you long after you've finished it, thanks to its beautiful world and intriguing narrative. If you love story-driven games with a touch of the supernatural and a focus on exploration and puzzle solving, The Vanishing of Ethan Carter is a must-play. Dive into Red Creek Valley, uncover its secrets, and experience the mystery for yourself. Remnant from the Ashes. The original Remnant is my favorite game. No matter what anyone says, the first part is a great game. There are so many things that are better in the first part. The game is like a mashup of Dark Souls and third-person shooting. You're dropped into a world where everything is evil and it's out to get you. Bosses, enemies, even the environment can be hostile sometimes. Remnant focuses on making you feel like you're just one mistake away from a brutal death, but that challenge is what makes it so addictive. The game combines tight, third-person shooting mechanics with an atmospheric, almost Souls-like approach to combat. You'll need to be quick on your feet and smart with your resources, as enemies can be unforgiving and the environment is packed with traps. What made the game stand out is the procedurally generated element. Every playthrough can feel a bit different because the areas, loot, and enemy placements are never exactly the same. This adds a lot of replayability and keeps the experience fresh. You've got a ton of weapons and gear to choose from, each with its own unique traits. You can choose your preferred playstyle, whether you want to focus on heavy damage or a stealthier approach. It's a great pick if you enjoy games that challenge you and offer a dark, immersive experience. I really loved how a brand new underrated game got this popular and gave us such nice content. Vampyr. This one is a classic, thrilling vampire-themed game. The game puts the fate of London into your hands. You play as a doctor with vampire powers during the Spanish flu period. It's nice to see our main character juggle his duties as a doctor and his thirst for blood. The story reveals around him as he handles his newfound powers while battling other vampires or supernatural beasts, along with human criminals. Every choice you make in the game can have consequences. You can either kill NPCs and take their blood or let them go. As you progress through the story, you will eventually need to satisfy your thirst for blood, resulting in making some heavy choices. Depending on your choice, the game shapes itself. I personally like this game as it is a slow-paced, single-player game that lets you freely explore the idea of becoming a vampire in a dark London where the inhabitants are suffering from sickness. Mostly it's about finding a cure and truth about the ongoing disease while dealing with your own vampire superpowers. Your ethics and decisions will always get tested as the game gives you choices between staying faithful to your doctor's oath and the thirst for blood. Every life saved or taken has ripple effects throughout the city.
It is the curse of the goddess. It is the hunger in you, the need for blood.
9 Souls. A brand new game and a must-play for the players who love gorgeous art design. The game's got this beautiful hand-drawn art style that pulls you in right from the start. 9 Souls is kind of similar to Hollow Knight, but it does offer a different environment setting. It's like a mixture of Cyberpunk and Hollow Knight. You experience a world with mythical elements combined with the sci-fi system. You play as this awesome warrior who's out for revenge, slicing through enemies with a smooth combat system that's all about timing and precision. It's got that satisfying satisfying feel where every hit counts, and when you pull off a combo or dodge at the last second, it just clicks. As the game is kind of platforming, the tension is there, but it's not frustrating at all, so you will always be on your toes getting better and progressing further. What really stands out is the story. It's got this mystical touch, and sometimes you feel like the entire story is unraveling as you progress. All this creates a sense of keep going and never loop because you get hooked to the game, and the only way to unlock the story is by keep on playing the game. Anyways, 9 Souls is a pretty decent choice if you have played all the major Metroidvania games. You will also get updated quality as the game was just recently released. It's still brand new.